Hey, hey, beautiful people. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm going to give it a second for a couple of people to show up. Bear in mind, guys, I don't typically do this from my phone. Um, I'll have to see if I can figure out how to see chat. Hold on. So I don't need to see me. Don't need private chat. Grandma Sherry, hi, darling. I can't see chat. Never mind. I'm silly. Hey, Cherry, I love you, darling. I hope everybody is doing super well. This whole Debbie Collier case has, I think it bugs a lot of us, right? Um, and I'm not going to do a big recap. I'm literally, Rosaline, hey, sweetheart. Thank you. Um, this Debbie Collier case is really bothering me. And please forgive me. I'm on my phone. I am being mom sitting in a parking lot waiting for baby girl to get out of gymnastics. So, it is what it is. Um, there are a couple of things that and Cherry, if you don't mind. Oh, wait, hold on. I have to do that again. Shoot, I can't do that from my phone. If I close out of that, am I still here? Am I still here? Yes. Okay. Let me see if I can open up my YouTube and go and mod you again. Oh, good. Turn that down. Or Grandma Sherry or whoever. Um, if somebody can add our wonderful Annie to her link to the chat, she's done amazing coverage of this case. So I'm not gonna I have to think this out. So this happened in Athens, Georgia, or she lived right outside of Athens, Georgia. And the ca- I don't know. The case is terrible. It's awful. And there are a whole lot of more questions than there are answers. Here's the thing. A lot of people, if you're familiar with the case, you'll get it. If you're not, that's okay. Go watch Annie's things. Um, her coverage. But a lot of people are questioning. So the husband, Steve, got up, left at 9 a.m. that morning. They slept in separate bedrooms because he snores. I get that. No shade there. He was busy parking cars in Athens on a University of Georgia home game. Now, this is part of what I need to explain. College game day in the South is a big, big deal. It it really is. So the fact that he left at 9 a.m. to go park cars for a 4 o'clock kickoff, yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. Um, it makes perfect sense to me. Now, kickoff, once again, 4 p.m. Everybody is freaking out right now. I won't say freaking out. Everybody's questioning right now. Amanda gets this Venmo for, I think it's $2,385 with the really weird, like, notation. They won't let me go. I love you. There's a spare key to the house, yada, 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 right? in the blue flower pot that was supposedly sent around 3:30. No, I know the exact time, and it's escaping me right now. 3:17. She's 8 p.m. and she's spotted in the Family Dollar an hour and a half, almost an hour and a half north from Athens at that point in time. Hey, Fruit Loop. Hey, the color Liz. Hey, B Tim. Um, so she's spotted buying all the things. She walks out at 3:09. She sits out in her car in the Family Dollar parking lot. Kind of what I'm doing right now, although I'm being mom and I'm just not going home. But anyway, she sits out in the parking lot at 3:17 p.m. She sends the Venmo with that weird cryptic message, right? Supposedly, the daughter Amanda does not see that message for almost an hour because she's cleaning the house or doing whatever. And don't get me wrong, I've put my phone down for over an hour before and not paid any attention. Hey, Loco. Um, that makes that doesn't throw any shade to me whatsoever. What bothers me is that people are bothered by the fact that supposedly Amanda sends a message to Steve about this when she gets the text. Now keep in mind, she didn't get the message until 4:30. He gets off of work at 4:06. He's on camera an hour south of where all of this happens, right? So what really, really bothers me is one of the 911 calls is from one of Debbie's sister. Amethyst, hi darling. Um, is from one of her sisters that said very specifically that Amanda is not communicating well with anybody, right? The other part of the 911 calls that's a little weird to me, and it could just be a boomer thing. Keep in mind, guys, I believe Steve is 69, if I'm not insane. Leave that alone, Cherry. I believe he's 69 years old. And they shared Venmo accounts, they shared Facebook accounts. So he may not be super tech, tech savvy, right? So, and fair enough. So, in Steve's 911 call, which was kind of strange in general, but he tells 911 that Amanda received, who is Debbie's daughter, received a text message saying that they won't let me go. He doesn't mention anything about the $2,385 transfer. Doesn't mention any of that. And he's very specifically says it's a text, right? And all of this happens after 6 p.m. Well, he was working until 4:06 in a major college town. And it's, in my opinion, pretty obvious that they're major Bulldog fans. They're gonna watch the game. I cannot tell you how many times we have gone and tailgated at LSU all day long. And tailgating for us includes like big screen TVs and satellite and all of the things. right? We've gone tailgate and watched the game in the parking lot. I've been to Athens. I've been to that stadium. So that's not an unreasonable thing to do. We know that Amanda is not great at communicating what is going on to family members. So he gets off at 4:06. Apparently, Amanda sends Steve a text saying, here's what I'm thinking happened. I'm sorry if I'm rambling and I'm not making any sense. I think she sent him a text saying, I don't know where mom is. She's not home. She didn't communicate the entire message at that point at 4:06 because there's almost an hour and a half difference between when she got it and when the night, or a little over actually, she supposedly got it and they called 911. Cherry, you're right, baby. Yes, none of this makes any sense. But I personally do not believe that there's any shade thrown at Steve. That's what I wanted to clear up. I don't think there's any shade thrown at Steve. I think she told him that she couldn't get in touch with her mom or whatever, that she got a weird message, didn't communicate what that weird message was until Steve got home and Amanda was already at the house. And then she tells him what the text says, conveniently forgets to leave out the money. But if he got off at 4:06, hang on, I'm gonna roll up my window because there's about to be a train come through. If he works until 4:06 and he's on campus parking cars, and he says in his 911 call that she frequently goes grocery shopping on Saturday. That's her day to do it. I agree. I agree completely. That's her day to do it. And all of a sudden, he's getting this weird message from Amanda, hey, I can't get in touch with mom or whatever without the full context because we know she doesn't communicate it. He gets off at 4:06. Kickoff has already happened. It may help with the noise, Cherry. It may. I don't know. I'm trying here, sis. I'm trying. But at the end of the day, if he was already on campus, kickoff was at 4 o'clock. Look, halftime would have probably been around 5:45. Depending on traffic, they're 15, 20 minutes away from campus, their house. That would make sense for the 6:06 call. My name. Oh, hi. Okay. Hi. Thank you for joining me, darling. I appreciate you. Um, but yeah, I mean, am I making any sense here? Please tell me if I'm rambling. Like I said, I think it boils down to the fact that for whatever reason, and I'm not throwing any shade on anybody, Amanda doesn't communicate well. Doesn't tell Steve what's going on fully. So he's like, okay, she went grocery shopping. I'm not trying to be overbearing or track her every move. At the end of the day, I've been working all day and the game's already kicked off. So you know what? And I'm not going to get home in time to watch it. So I'm going to hang out here and watch it. until halftime, which will give me enough time to drive home. He gets home. Amanda is there freaking out, finally tells him what the quote unquote text says, conveniently leaves out the money, and he's working off of what little information he's got. Does that make any sense to anybody? Uh, Fantastic question, Grandma Sherry. Fantastic. Thanks, Loco. I feel like I'm all over the place. Hey, Seal. Hi, darling. But yeah, I mean, to me, Steve strikes me as a bit of a boomer, which I'm a bit of a boomer. I get it. That's cool. That was given half information, not the full information, and certainly not the full information until he got home. I don't think he knew. I don't think he knew. It's like I said, it's just my own unique perspective from being in the South and the SEC and how big of a deal college game day is. Y'all, it's a big deal. I can tell you Baton Rouge will become the largest city, and not only Baton Rouge, but campus will become the largest quote unquote city in the entire state on game day. Our stadium seats 102,000 people. So I don't know. I just think it's a different perspective. And I also don't think that just because Debbie was wearing a visor and a jersey and whatever on game day meant that she had any intention of going to the game at all. Yes, ma'am. We love you, Rosalie. But, it's, I don't know. Loco, I think you have a wrench, right? You should, maybe, theoretically. I don't know. Yeah, okay, cool. Um, but anyway, I didn't want to be long. Hopefully, th- some of this made any sense. Um, am I still here? Am I still here? Okay, cool. I don't know. Very, very, very. Oh, shoot. I'm in the wrong window. Goodness. Sorry. Never done this from my phone before. Where was Andrew? Good question. The color, Liz, babe. I mean, law enforcement is saying that it's homicide. And that actually makes a lot of sense to me. As far as how it happened, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, shoot. Cherry, I love you and I miss you. Yes, Seal, you're here and we love you for that. Oh, thanks, Loco. Thank you. All right, guys. I told y'all I wasn't going to be long. I mean, I'll be happy to drop a link if anybody wants to come talk for a minute. Hold on. Got to figure out how to do that again. Oop, not that. Um, More. settings, maybe? No. What not to do? What not to do is kick yourself out of your own stream. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, here, look. I figured it out. Look, I'm blonde, but I can. Theoretically, should I do that on YouTube itself? Is that how that works? Look at me not being blonde and stuff. Thanks, Fruit Loop. No, Loco, I just literally have never done this from my phone. Hey, Red Rock. Yeah, I've never done this from my phone. I did. Yay, I am blonde. And Loco, if you have some of that coffee on hand, please send it. We could use all the help we could get. Shut up, Jerry. I love you. Oh, look, wait. It's a stream. Hey, Tim, how are you?
I'm good. Next time though, just make sure you put like an overlay over just in case, and also make sure you you gotta check just because we have a certain individual that likes to crash streams. You know what I mean? So
I do, but I don't know how to do any of that. So maybe I need to figure that out.
Yeah, just in case. I'm just giving you a heads up. Just be careful.
Fair enough.
Yeah, yep. No peen pics. Exactly. That's the plan. So what do you think of the? I mean, I listened to a little bit on your stream. What do you think of this whole Debbie Collier situation? Like, what's your thought process?
I don't know. I'm thinking. I don't. I'm blonde. It hurts.
Okay.
I don't know by whom or for what reason. I do believe that she was lured up there for whatever reason. I think there's a lot of interesting coincidences as far as Amanda working for Habitat for Humanity in Maryland, and where she was found was just within a couple of miles of one of those locations. I don't know what to make of that. I don't know that it means anything. But one thing that I just wanted to put out there was that I think Steve is just a boomer who doesn't understand a lot of the tech, which is fair. I'm still learning, for goodness sake. I think we know from the 911 calls that from Debbie's sister that Amanda was not communicating well. I'm beginning to think that although Debbie may have reached out to Steve when she got whatever message at 4:30, supposedly, even though it was sent at 3:19, I think that it's very possible that she just said, hey, I can't find mom. Mom's not answering the phone or whatever. Didn't communicate the full message at that point. So he didn't freak out. Now, the game kicked off at 4 o'clock. He gets off at what was it, 4:06, I believe, that he was on camera still. But he would have been on campus. And the thing about football in the South is people tailgate and they won't even go to the game, right? We'll frequently watch LSU games in the parking lot on big screen TV that we bring out there with us. So, and with his he gets home, I believe it was 6:06 p.m., which lines up with, okay, if halftime was probably 5:45.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 5:45. So that would have put him home at 6:06. That's completely reasonable. And if he didn't know that there was that kind of a weird message, and he says in his 911 call that she frequently grocery shops on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know. As far as answers, I don't have those. But as far as Steve's timeline, that's not odd to me. Maybe I'm weird.
No, I mean, like, but what do you suspect is like do you think it was just random people that just, like,
Oh,
or
no.
do you think it was like someone close to her that convinced her to lure her into that position?
Absolutely.
And do you think it's like money motivated, or do you think it's like something else? Because it's very odd that, if it was money motivated, you just do the act, you do the killing and then you basically grab the money, or you grab the money and you leave them there and you just run off. It's kind of odd to do that type of thing when you're just want to rob someone. You know what I mean?
Sure. No, I do think it's money motivated, but I do think it's somebody close to her, which is why she had to die.
Yeah, but even if it's someone close, I mean, like, realistically, I mean, if it's someone close, there's, to go to that extent just seems a little odd to me. That's just my thought
Yeah,
process. It seems very like motivated by some kind of, if it was done like that, some sort of anger, because it's like, why take off her clothes? Why? We don't know what the burn marks, how the burn marks occurred, but it's like, it seems odd to me. That's what I was just thinking in my top of my head when I was looking at it.
no, I get it. But I will say this. I don't think anybody took her clothes off. I think they were burned.
Oh, so you
That
think they were burned off or something like that, or?
Absolutely. From the photographs that we've seen from the crime scene,
Hmm.
there is what to me appears to be remnants of the jersey that she was wearing.
Okay.
So, no, I don't think she was necessarily stripped or anything like that. I don't see that.
Okay.
What I do find very disheartening, though, is the amount of evidence that was both left at the scene by law enforcement. Not only evidence, but trash and debris.
Yeah, that was weird. But they've been
It's
making a lot of mistakes, police
oh,
officers, and we've been noticing in a few cases.
absolutely, and it's sad and disheartening because I mean, and I will say this, although how do I put this? I do not believe that Amanda was directly involved because her timeline doesn't work that way for her to have been that far north.
Mm-hmm.
But we have no idea, and I'm not looking at chat, guys. I am so sorry.
Yeah, I mean, do you think it's possibly like the boyfriend, like the?
I do. I think he's somehow at least tangentially involved.
And that's
You know what I mean?
yeah, it's speculation because it said that like it was the same amount of his bail or something like that. The amount.
Although that's been debunked since then.
Has it? Because I was reading an article, like, I don't know, Fox News is not really the greatest accurate article. How did it get debunked? Like, what article debunked it, or what thing debunked it?
I'm trying to. Annie covered it earlier,
Okay.
but basically, another YouTuber actually brought up the court documents, the
Oh, okay.
actual document or docket that showed the actual fines. Now, if he had been charged the full amount of all of the fines, right, for every offense,
Mm-hmm.
it would have come really close. But two of the charges were dropped. And like for the DUI, I think he was only charged like $750 as opposed to the full amount that it could have been. So basically, what they were basing that figure on was the max amount that they could possibly charge, like Georgia's statute
Now,
allows them.
one of the person in your chat says that he was on probation for DUIs. That's
Yes,
what you're talking about, the charges he was facing.
correct, correct. But I mean, as far as the actual charges that he had, it wasn't, or I guess I should say the actual fines that he was levied, it wasn't that much, not nearly that much. And please, I mean, you'd have to be the dumbest. I'm not monetized, so I can say this.
Yeah.
If there are little ears, cover them. You'd have to be the dumbest motherfucker on the face of the planet to Venmo yourself the exact amount of court fees that you have.
I mean, there's some dumb people in the world. I mean, there's dumb criminals. You don't like most of the times you're doing crimes because you're kind of dumb, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, but that would be rather like that would be Scott Roush level of dumb criminal of the day. Like,
yeah, and then says some gentleman says Ken says Andrew sends money to Amber using Debbie's phone, and Debbie gets mad. Argument leads to death. That's what he wrote down.
maybe. I mean, reportedly there was a big fight the night before.
Yeah, I mean that's what the thing is. I'm trying to figure out like, is it money motivated? Maybe like I could picture if the clothes weren't intentionally removed, and let's say the fire started. Was the fire an accident, and maybe like it was like a threat, or you know what I mean? Like maybe that's a thought process to have. Maybe I mean. I don't know.
Sure.
I mean, there's anything like it's just all speculation at this point. We don't know because the investigation hasn't even said anything. I mean, at the first beginning of the investigation, they're like, "Oh, this is not a suicide and this is not a murder, but someone died." And you're sitting there like, "What? It was an accident?" And it's like they keep on doing that where they say like the most ridiculous lines to people, and then it makes people have crazy speculation because they're wondering like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Like if you just said it was like a suicide, people would be like, "Oh, okay." Maybe that makes sense. If you said it was a murder, they'd be like, maybe that makes sense. But then when you're like in this middle, it just makes people go nuts with speculation. Now we have like a situation where people like don't even. There's new information comes out, and we're all still kind of in the dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a Lifetime movie. If definitely a Lifetime movie. But
wait. Can I ask? Okay, who sent the Venmo? The lady at the Family Dollar? No, a stranger on the street? No. If Andrew sent the phone using Debbie's phone, or sent the Venmo, I think you mean. I don't disagree with you there. I mean, I think it's going to be really interesting once all of the search warrants come back for the tech. Because at the last presser, they flat out said, we have no idea. We know that Amanda received it.
Yeah, and the thing is that they won't let me go. I mean, like, that's a very odd situation. I mean, my guess is that, if the thing is like, let's say she knew the person was being held, and she knew the person by name. Why wouldn't she say the person by the name? You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you say like, oh, so and so John is holding me and won't let me go until I send the Venmo money or something like that? If she's able to write, they won't let me go. I mean, like, it just kind of doesn't make sense. You wouldn't identify if you knew the person. So it's a very odd situation where you're kind of like not sure, and then you kind of think of what is the motivation? Is the motivation just $2,000 something? I mean, to do a kidnapping and a possible just a kidnapping alone is like what 15 years. I mean,
right. It doesn't make any sense for $2,000. Are you insane?
Yeah.
Like, and I will say this, and Ken, I want to say this, and please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I understand that the rehab center that he was court ordered to go to was right up the road, right? I get that. But my understanding and like I said, correct me if I'm wrong. My understanding is that that rehab wasn't ordered until after Debbie was missing and or killed.
I mean, I get what Ken is saying. Like,
I do too.
it
But at
seems
the end of
like,
the day, if it
yeah,
wasn't ordered, how does that even fit in? I don't know. I don't get it.
yeah. I mean, it just seems odd. Like a lot of things in this case, it doesn't make sense. It's like if you had the, there's like an alarm.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I'm sitting in a parking lot. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was about to say
I'm
like,
I'm being mom. I'm being mom, and my girl's in gymnastics right now. So
you're like you're doing a queen bee where you have one phone in one hand, you're like cooking dinner and stuff like that while people are screaming in the background or something like that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he's been like it's an obvious suspect, but the problem is that number one, we don't. If the person is sending a message, I would think that the mother Debbie would know the guy's name and she would write, Andrew's holding me and won't let me go until I get, won't let me go. Here's the number. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. Even like not even saying the location. Maybe, I mean, this is like pure speculation, conspiracy in my head. I just thought of maybe he said to tell her to write that to throw people off. Like say, hey, write down they won't let me go. And here's the money and make it look like someone else, or maybe he wrote it. I mean, it could be, and that's pure conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat, no fucking basis for evidence on this account. Just letting
yeah,
people know. But yeah,
and hey, Ken, these are all really good points. These are all really good points. I mean, any lawyer could tell you to get rehab in order before court. That makes sense, and good for you for getting the help. And yeah, you would have to line it up because once again, that makes total sense. They'd have to make sure, because I'm sure it's an inpatient rehab. They'd have to make sure that, you're packed up and ready to go with what little you're able to take. And they've got to have a bed for you and all the things.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing I think is what drawing people to this case, because a lot of things in this case just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I mean,
Agreed.
and when something doesn't make sense, humans naturally tend to just be attracted to it. They try to make sense out of something, and they might just jump to conclusions and speculation and stuff like that. And so far, we only know really that the money was sent. The person said they, and there's a couple of, and they do a search warrant literally almost immediately on the house. You know what I mean? Like of the daughter and
Sure.
everyone. That's like very odd behavior. I don't know if I've ever heard that happen in a lot of cases. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because what would be the basis of the search warrant? What would be the authorization for them to get the search warrant? So
Well, I think that the reason that they were able to get the search warrant on Amanda's place might be twofold. First of all, and I don't know enough about renters' rights in Georgia, but unless I'm insane, I believe Steve owned the property
mhm.
that Amanda and Andrew were living in.
Yeah, but
So
even
as the landlord, he may have been able to give permission for them to search.
no, I mean if they're paying, no, that doesn't. I mean, like if they're living there, it's like and they're paying rent.
Well, we don't know that. They've
Yeah,
only been there for 2 days.
yeah, but if they like actually made some sort of agreement or rent, that's privacy. You can't have your landlord say, "Yeah, just walk in there and search my." It's your domicile, it's your place to live. But maybe if like they're just, maybe it's just that they don't pay rent and he can give that. But I heard that there was a warrant. 1 year ago, Amber used shared phones to scam
Okay.
Andrew out of $400. Is that true?
Ken, who is Amber? I'm not familiar with that name in this case. I'm sorry. Are you talking about Amanda?
Yeah, maybe I don't know who Amber is either. Seals is the 911 call and the dog statement. The dog statement stood out to me too. Who's the dog?
So when Steve was making the 911 call. The operator is asking him a whole bunch of questions. No
Oh, you
worries,
mean
kid.
I'm sorry, I misread. I thought the dog was actually. I'm like, what the hell? The dog statement.
No,
I'm
no,
like, oh,
he made the statement, sorry, I'm trying to report my wife missing, but I'm trying to control the dog too. Like, what?
yeah. I mean, I think it's because he probably didn't take it. You know, I mean, like people have denial. You know, I mean,
Hmm.
like you know how people are with denial. You see the Jed Hall situation where the mother like literally was in denial even when they were pulling the car out. So
No, I
people
know.
are, you know, people. He might have been like, oh, she's just running late, or maybe she's just not calling. Maybe this is, you know, maybe like I don't know. Sometimes people just like do mental gymnastics in their thought process, and they don't
But
really
at
think.
the same time, that shores up my argument that Steve has nothing to do with this, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah,
I,
I stand with your opinion on that one.
I just don't see it. I think he was at the game, he got off, he wanted to watch the rest of it, being a football fan. And keep in mind, I bleed purple and gold. I get that. And he waited until halftime to come home because Amanda didn't give him the information that was sent on the quote unquote text that we now know that is a Venmo. And Steve didn't even relay the information about the money because I don't think Amanda told him. That's where I'm at with it. I don't
Yeah,
know. Maybe I'm crazy.
you are crazy. That's very true. That's absolutely true. You hunt alligators in the swamplands. That is definitely a crazy sport.
Well, you know, it's not crazy until, you're in the boat with your 10-year-old kid and only my father-in-law who is
You're only solidifying my case, my analysis of
yeah.
being crazy. It's like,
And the
yeah,
gator and the gator comes back to life and starts walking across the boat.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's pretty crazy. You know, it's like that's like the guy that created like that biosuit to like, you know, study grizzly bear. So he created like this exosuit just to be beat up, and he had like a car hit him, and he had like literally bullets shot at him in this suit just so he can study up close to the bear. It's kind of the
Uh-uh.
same. That's kind of the same thing. He's like, oh, I want to figure out about grizzly bears, so I created this exosuit to figure them out so they can beat me up while I'm in this exosuit. Uh,
Well, I'll just say this. If you ever need to know where to hide a body, just
okay. I mean, it does make sense. You're into the true crime, so you're figuring out, you know, is your future widow? No, I'm joking.
no, no.
We got to look at
I would
if like your husband or boyfriend disappears. We're gonna be like, she we clipped it. She talked about the alligators a lot. Might
I
want to check it
couldn't
out, guys.
I couldn't get down there without him. I mean, like literally it's a 45-minute boat ride from land to get to the camp.
It's too late. You've been clipped. You've been clipped.
Yeah, it's okay. Clip me, clip me, clip me.
Um,
I cannot see chat guys because I am actively driving.
yeah, someone says sorry. He says sorry for mixing up the name. So he meant Amanda when he made
Yeah,
that original question. So
you're all
but
good. I'm at a red light, so I can do that real quick.
yeah, pretty.
Zombie gators, grandma. I love you.
I'm just trying to look for his original question so I can actually. Who sent the Venmo? The lady with the family dollar? No, it's strangers. The can does not say they sent the daughter money. Common sense. I'm just trying to look for it. Maybe if you reiterate the. Okay, here it is. 1 year ago, Amanda used shared phone to scam Andrew out of $400.
Oh,
So, okay, that's what he meant with his question, Amanda.
got it. Got it.
Did you hear about that? No, I didn't hear about that.
I didn't hear about that. I'll have to research that some. I don't know. This whole case is absolutely freaking baffling.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's not going to be an answer or a quick answer to this case for at least a couple of months, probably. This was during the domestic violence call. Oh, okay. Yeah, I read
Okay.
something about that.
Yeah.
what was it I read? I think it
Well, and
was.
apparently during the domestic violence call, I mean, apparently he was an absolute dipshit. Sorry, my opinion.
Yeah, like the article I'm
And
reading.
linked their, I don't know, debit cards or AT&T accounts or something, and somehow or other she was just automatically withdrawing like $400 out of every paycheck of his. I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
hello.
that's kind of stealing.
Yeah, kind of.
It's
Wow.
kind of stealing. That's kind of
Kind of.
thievery.
Kind that's kind of shady. Just saying.
Yeah, it's good to. I mean, like I'm trying. I pulled up an article that says Debbie Collier's daughter history with the police. Debbie Collier's daughter most recent, and this is from SK Pop. So whatever I'm reading, please do not sue me. Sue the article writer. So just disclaimer, disclaimer for all those.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
You know, if I read if any misinformation from this article, sue them, not me or a Louisiana girl, or
Please.
just uh, Debbie Collier, daughter, most recent encounter with the law was in May 2021 when she was falsely accused her boyfriend of breaking into her house and attacking her. Police reports stated that she backed up her claims by showing officers bruises on her shoulders and arms. However, as the investigation went ahead, the Athens Clark County police found that Burden and her boyfriend Andrew Tyler. I'm not butchering this guy's. I'm just going Andrew. I'm not gonna Garchewich. I don't know. Lived together
Yeah.
while Bearden was arrested for falsely reporting robbery. Andrew was arrested for battery. Bearden was previously arrested in 2008 and 2012 for getting into an argument with her boyfriend. And both times, her 2008 charges were dropped, but in 2012 she was faced multiple charges. This included misdemeanor battery, simple battery, disorderly conduct, criminal trespass. While she pleaded guilty to the disorderly conduct charges, the rest of the charges were dropped in November of the same year. She was sentenced to 12 months of probation, which she broke in 2013 by attempting to provide a fraudulent sample during a drug test. This led to her being sentenced to further 30 days imprisonment. Amanda Burden apparently maintained a good relationship with her mother, Debbie Collier, and father, Steve Collier. Debbie Collier is mysterious. Okay, so yeah, she has a long criminal history, let's just say. Yes, all allegedly, Savage. I think you posted the link. I
Exactly.
think you'll have to post the link again because you didn't pin the link for anyone to come up.
Oh,
But
I can, but I only have like, hold on. I got to figure that out, how to do that again. Hold on.
yeah.
Invite, copy.
And just make sure you have that finger on the kick button just in case. I'm telling you.
Yeah, because I don't know. I don't know how to do that overlay fancy shit that y'all do. I
Yeah,
don't.
I mean, if my eyes get assaulted by a peen, I'm gonna cry to Savage tonight. I'm gonna be like, Savage, I've been
Hey,
savage.
Savage, darling. Hi. Okay, hold on. It's posted. I'm going back.
All right, just anyone you don't know their names of, do
Yeah.
not let them up. Do not. Be careful. Hey,
I
Savage.
don't know. Ken's the only person I don't personally know, but everybody is welcome.
Ken. Oh, okay. Ken seems like a cool person. I don't.
I
I mean,
agree.
this would be that would be a very long scam by our famous PI if he was like Ken right now.
Yeah. He's ignored me for a while, and I'm good with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you had a conversation with him, and he was like, "I don't think he's hunting you down."
Mm-mm.
But anyway, hi Sherry.
Uh,
No, no, your theories are, like the thing is they're all theories at this point in time. We all really have no clue what the hell's going on, to be honest with you.
absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, at least you didn't. I mean, there's some people that got some crazy fucking theories, and I've heard them.
No, I think it's about common sense and like
Mhm.
and being in the South where college football is such a big deal.
Yeah,
I think that's an important perspective.
I would know.
And
I would know. I'm a Yankee. I'm a Yankee man. I'm a Yankee from the North. I don't know
I
anything about the Southern hospitalities.
I would have never known. Never in a million years, darling. But
Um,
what
so
what okay, sorry. You're welcome, Ken. Thanks for being here and listening. I mean, in my opinion, like Tim is saying, I mean, we won't know anything for a hot minute. I
yeah, I mean,
do believe I do believe that they've got the preliminary autopsy, but they're going to wait for talks.
yeah, I
They're
mean,
going to wait for it.
look at the Kylie Rodney case. Like literally, we just saw a video of possibly, and I'm saying alleged. I'm like 90% sure this is an actual video of her going into the water, literally today by Gray Hughes. And basically, if the cops had that video and had all this information, they might have known this was an accident for like a good month, and they just
Right.
bothered not they didn't bother telling anyone basically, and they're just letting everyone speculate. So yeah, I would say like when it comes to these, the investigators are not fast in responding. They're just like really slow, and they don't care if there's like 100,000 people that want to know the answer. They'll just go at their own pace and with their own investigation speed. So you probably won't have an answer for this for like a month, maybe 2 months, just the long haul type of deal.
Well, I know at least, well, Kylie's case, I mean, they're saying what, November 1st?
They say that, but it could be longer. I mean, it is
Right.
what it is. I mean, like honestly though, I mean, like there's a lot of evidence to show that it's an accident, and
I
it's like
agree.
it's a lot of evidence, and pretty much it's unfortunate that a lot of people took went wild with their speculations and accused other people, and a lot of
I know.
vigilantism went about, and it really hurt a lot of people. And but with the police, I think the police just want to be careful with their evidence before they say a definite theory. Because once they say it's an accident or a murder, then it's definite in the minds of people.
Well, let me ask you this, Tim. What do you think is going to happen as far as the craziness of YouTube?
No, it's good to continue as it is. I mean, it's
Oh, I think
like
it's going to go nuttier.
I mean, like for instance, I'll give an example. Dolly Vision, he makes about $10,000 to $12,000 a month on his products
Yeah.
and speculation. You can make a lot of money with speculation. You can make a lot of money because it's just like cable news. With you get the you. I mean, like how many people watch PBS News? Okay, I'll give you that example. People that watch
Right.
PBS News is like basically dry. They just tell you the facts of the thing and they just go with it. But how many people watch like Fox News with Tucker Carlson? Because he's
Right.
like a personality. He makes it interesting, the story, and he also
Because it's
like
all about the drama. It's
yeah,
all
and
about the drama.
it's like basically it's like that's how it goes. It's like it's got to be mixed with the information, and sometimes it gets your views. Yeah, and I believe free speech. It's just the problem is with free speech, you got to be very careful because they were accusing Sammy of being the murderer. They're accused
Mhm.
Jagger of being the murderer. They've accused 3 YouTubers of being the murderer.
I know.
They accused so many people of being the murderer. They at one point they said that Kylie wasn't in the car and that it was actually a GoFundMe scam by which another person by the name of Kylie, which a C was actually working with her parents and the law enforcement to fake her death, to fake this body in there, and then AWP wouldn't like actually investigate it. It went crazy. It was absolutely bonkers. And that's what you get. And those people got a lot of views. I mean, let's be real.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I want to say this about the AWP situation. I think that they are absolutely top notch and phenomenal at what they do. Right? They
Agreed.
go out, they find cars, they find people. You know what I mean? What they do is absolutely phenomenal. They
Agreed.
need to stay in their damn lane.
Well, I mean, the thing is that there's room for improvement.
Well, and I get that it's a learning experience for them too. I totally get that. But to double and triple down on it
Yeah,
bothers me. And
yeah,
I've been a member of theirs for like 3 years. or 2.5, as long as they've been out and about. I've been
Yeah.
a paid member of theirs. I have the glass breaker on my keyring. I think it's invaluable. But the speculation in the way that it was put out bothers me. I'm not going to lie. It
Yeah,
bothers me.
I think it's just like the growing pains of doing an active case. It's not like doing a cold case that's 4 or 10 years down the line. I think they need to get grief counselors to talk to these people if they're going to do active cases. I think if they're going to make a public statement on YouTube channels, they need to have a written statement and maybe have one guy that does it and have like set, and maybe even talk to the YouTube and be like, these are the questions we're going to ask, you can ask me about.
Right.
We'll go through here, here, and here, like any other TV show, and just really just
Right.
focus on doing what they do best, which is recovering vehicles, and grow
Agreed.
the business, grow it to get more more recoveries out there, and maybe like their end goal, teach officers to properly look for vehicles, and that's the end game. And I hope them well, but they do need
So
to
do I.
but they do need to learn to. They have to do certain things. They have to get an idea of like grief counselors and all that stuff, like I just mentioned. But I think
Yeah.
Ken says, my point is a kidnapper does not force their victim to send their daughter money. No, they do not. Either she did it secretly, which why wouldn't she say, I'm at so-and-so location, come save me? Or basically either it's a fake. In my mind, it seems like a fake, like someone had the phone, put that text message in there, and use it to throw them off. But then I would go, what would be the motivation of throwing away thousands of dollars to a rando person to send a text message to alert them earlier on that, you know what I mean? Like, kind of
Agreed.
limiting your time. That's why it just doesn't make sense, the whole thing.
None of it. Make it make sense. None of it makes sense.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, like the whole AWP thing, that's my thought process on that.
And I agree with you. I really do. I just and granted, I get that. I get the growing pains and I get the learning process, and I'm willing to give them that grace by all means. It's just a matter of, in my opinion, that learning process needs to be just like Doug says repeatedly in Kylie's video. We don't do the how, we do the where.
Yeah, and the thing is you have to realize that, I think it's a lot of pressure. You've got a lot of, you got to get the money paid for these bills. They're not a nonprofit. Some people I've looked up, and I don't think they're a nonprofit. They're basically a profit company. These people
Yeah.
got to get salaries. They have families. They have to get the equipment.
Sure.
They want to expand. So, that motivation to sometimes just to get the to go quickly or get the type of video out that will get the most views is, that's the thought process. And I'm not saying it's they're doing it for nefarious reasons. It's just that they want to raise money for a good cause, in my opinion. That's
I agree.
I think they do very well with their job. And I also said in the live earlier, I was like, they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't with the parents. Why, like Jed Hall's mom's mad at them. They find the body, the person's dead. If they don't find the body, if they fail, then basically, they don't find and they failed at their job. So they're the only profession where they succeed in their job and they might get the parents angry at them.
Yeah, but did you see, and by the way, I've got to go in like a minute because
Okay.
baby girl's about to be out of gym. But did you see the Dr. Phil show where Adventures with Purpose and Jed Hall's parents were there?
Yes, I did.
Recent.
I watched it. I watched it on the live. Actually.
Yeah, she's not. They're not upset with them at all.
Well,
they were very gracious.
There's a certain, bird, let's just say, chirping in their ear is my guess. If you
maybe, but I mean, I do, but they were very like. When I was watching that, I actually teared up because I watched all of the Jed Hall coverage.
Mm-hmm.
But when Jared teared up and was like, I hope you don't hate me or you're not angry with me or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that seemed very genuine to me.
Yeah.
That she wasn't.
Yeah, and it's a tough job. I mean, like also, I mean, like I said earlier, anger is kind of irrational. Emotions are irrational, and sometimes people get mad at the wrong person. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
And maybe because I heard people like said that she's mad, and
I know.
and I
All
think she's
right.
just yeah,
I
and
love
I
y'all. My
oh okay
girl is coming out right now, and
oh okay
we'll do this again very soon. Ken, thank you for being here. Grandma Sherry, Tim, Cherry, everybody. I love you all. Thank you.
all right see ya.
Um, all right. Good to see y'all. We'll do
Good
it
to see
again
you.
soon.
All right, bye.
Mama, come see. No, please. Wait. Okay. Bye, guys.